The Sonic series is in an amazing state right now, and I just wanted to get that out there right off the bat, because there are a lot of people that don't seem to allow Sonic to be in the amazing state he's in. There's a lot of just extreme negativity right off the bat. I want to clear one thing up. When I say negativity, I do not mean proper criticism. Because criticism would be taking some piece of media, like, for example, typically during the hype cycle of a game, which is the main discussion here, you see a trailer come out. Someone can analyze the trailer, look into more of the deeper details, and say, hey, at the game's current state, so as far as we know, here's a criticism I'd like to bring up. Or here's a worry I have, something that, I hope they do it this way. That is criticism. That's fine. You can say you don't like something. When you look at it, you could look at it and just, analyze it a little bit and then just be like, I don't think this is good. I think this is a bad thing about the game. But that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to game trailer comes out. Man, I didn't feel anything when I watched this trailer, and it's just instantaneous negativity. Bam, let's talk about how the models don't look good. Bam, let's talk about reused assets. Let's just assume the game is not gonna be good. We've been seeing this happen continually, especially with Shadow Generations, with it being a boost game and people instantly went to, it's too linear, it's only gonna have 3 stages. There was so much pessimism surrounding Sonic, and that is still here. And I just want to say that needs to start going away, and fast. We see a lot of this instantaneous negativity just right off the bat. Instant criticism, assuming the worst. We see this. I feel like generally most Sonic fans can say that this is happening. So what caused it? What is the origin of this? Now, negativity has always been a thing. Just being senselessly negative has always been a thing, and that will always be a thing. But with Sonic, I believe that there is a fully traceable origin of this type of negativity. And I believe it all comes from Sonic Forces. Now, Sonic Forces is a game that I don't feel very strongly about, unlike most Sonic fans. Why? Because I wasn't a Sonic fan around that time. The hype cycle of the game was its downfall. Truly, the marketing and everything behind the game made the game itself just being okay so much worse. While I do think it's a bit outlandish to say that Forces is the worst Sonic game, I can understand having the most hatred towards it. But I don't. It was just a $20 game on my Switch that I thought was pretty fun. It reminded me of Generations with classic Sonic, and I just overall thought it was pretty decent. Thought the game looked really, really nice, and I would play it on my Switch in the car. That's it. It does not bother me or anger me or frustrate me in any way. I just have kind of a soft spot for it because it was my second Sonic game. Like I said, I do not feel strongly for it, but I do want to offer that perspective. So, since I wasn't there during that time, I want to bring on a good friend of mine, SuperCon, to kind of illustrate the story of this game for fans that are new, and to show a perspective of someone who isn't going to be needlessly negative all the time, but was still there during the release and hype of Forces. Take it away, SuperCon.
So in order to truly understand this whole thing, we gotta go back. The year is 2016. By this point, a lot of Sonic fans, including myself, have been very deflated with the Sonic series for the past number of years, with not only recent games released at the time, but the current state of the franchise in terms of games as a whole. The franchise was doing alright in terms of its Twitter shenanigans, fan projects, and fan creations as well, but when it came to the games, it was not doing so well. The franchise was truly at an all-time low than ever before. There was the failure of Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric in 2014, not to mention Shattered Crystal wasn't helping anything either. Sales were down, and Sonic was pretty much only getting mobile games at this point, being Sonic Dash, Sonic Runners, and then Sonic Dash 2 Sonic Boom. While those games were still pretty good, it wasn't the same as what's come before. Sonic was still not doing well at the time, and Sonic just had a very bad rep. Sega started to fail as a company, as well as Sonic just became yet again a laughingstock of a character and franchise again. So in other words, you go to school with a Sonic shirt, you're getting made fun of. Where Sonic 06 hurt the franchise's reputation, Sonic Boom nearly destroyed the franchise entirely. Not only to the public eye, but Sonic Boom also just left a very sour taste in many fans' mouths. While the TV show was really good and I loved watching this when I was a kid, games were still still lacking, and that's what Sonic was, a game character. Nobody enjoyed the execution of Sonic Boom in terms of games, and also the lack of a proper 3D modern title was very concerning. The Sonic Boom design was everywhere for Sonic, many believing this was all Sonic was going to be from here on. So, needless to say, by this point, we Sonic fans were absolutely wanting a brand new modern Sonic game again, let alone just see modern Sonic in an official title to get Sonic back on track. But the only Sonic related thing we had to look forward to was Sonic Boom Fire and Ice coming to the 3DS, as well as a LEGO Sonic Dimensions crossover revealed earlier this year. But on July 21st, there would be a Sonic 25th anniversary party at San Diego that would change everything that day. First of all, there was the reveal of Sonic Mania, a brand new classic title to celebrate the past and future of Sonic for the 25th anniversary, being developed by a bunch of talented fans who have done a good amount of work in the fan scene. But that's not all they had planned for the fans that day. Towards the end of the party, Iizuka had one more trick up his sleeve, that being the announcement of a brand new 3D modern Sonic title coming in holiday of 2017. And oh my goodness, this was an amazing thing that I've ever seen before, and it was so good that I thought it was fan-made. This trailer was the definition of hype back in the day. When I found out a few seconds later that this actually was a new trailer for an official Sonic game coming in the next year, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. First of all, the trailer was unlike any other trailer we've seen before. From the very start of it, the tone is much more serious and gritty than previous games from the past number of years. Something that was really wanted at the time because of games like Lost World and Colors with their more lighthearted story. What was really wanted back was the more serious game stories like Sonic Unleashed or the adventure games, so it was good to see right off the bat more of a gritty tone off the rip. But following up after the gritty text was amazing CG that looked so good, and what we see at first glance is a shot of a burning destroyed city and huge Death Egg robots stomping and destroying everything in their path, with text saying, "In the darkest of times, the world needs a hero." And what hero could that be? Well, after seeing a shot of an overview of the city destroyed, the camera blurs the background and focuses on a fist clenching hard. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since Sonic Lost World in 2013, modern Sonic was officially back once again. And let me tell you, I was excited like crazy when I saw him again. Man, he is angry! And not only me, but many miles away in San Diego, fellow Sonic fans were losing their minds as well seeing this revealed at the 25th anniversary party that was being held. Right off the bat, this trailer did so much to get us fans excited beyond belief for this new game, with so much more to be seen and excitement for what can be shown next. In fact, the only thing that left a sour taste in my mouth back then was the fact that I was seeing modern Sonic spin dashing. I was still hurting from Lost World, alright? But other than that, I and many other Sonic fans were hyped for what would be called for a while Project Sonic 2017. It truly was looking like everything we wanted. A serious tone like Sonic Unleashed and other games. Modern Sonic was back. The boost was returning after it was tossed away in Lost World. And the trailer let us know this by, well, first of all, Sonic boosting, that should be a given. And the beginning text saying, "From the team that brought you Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations." Now that was an exciting confirmation there, seeing that this game was going to be more on par with those games and not like a Lost World game. That was truly exciting. What else was exciting was seeing just what Sonic Team and Sega were up to with this game. The world is taken over by Eggman? How did this happen? Classic Sonic is back again? Is time travel going to be a factor? Is this Sonic Generations 2? Yes, that was a real question we were wondering. So many questions to be answered. Unfortunately, after this trailer would drop, we wouldn't see anything else on this game for quite some time. It even got to a point where speculation for this game would be dissecting the reveal trailer piece by piece for how the gameplay might be. I remember one video specifically I saw where this guy looked at the 2D angle of Sonic running in the trailer and was thinking this is how it would probably end up playing in 2D sections, like the sliding and rolling into a spin dash, then into a boost. Every frame was being studied to see how this new boost game will be, even thinking somehow they were going to incorporate a quick step in 2D like we see here. I don't know how that was going to work. That just shows how much we were really digging into this new trailer. Now, while I could go through the whole Sonic Forces hype cycle that was throughout 2017, we'd be here for quite a long time, and this video would end up being my video instead of GDub's video. So to save some time, I'll try and sum up the hype cycle the best I can while still giving crucial information. Alright, so as months would go on throughout 2017, we'd get more and more info on Project Sonic 2017 starting in March at South by Southwest. There we'd get a number of things. Like first, they would reveal the official title of the game being Sonic Forces, then we get the official concept art for the game of Sonic looking over the burning city. Also, we get the instrumental main theme showed off to us as well, and to cap off South by Southwest, they would show the world premiere of gameplay for Sonic Forces here too. And when this was shown off, everyone was hyped like crazy. First of all, seeing modern Sonic back in action once again was alone hype enough, as well as seeing the city level from the trailers, the boost was finally back, everything was looking great from what we saw here, and not a single 2D section in sight. The gameplay reveal managed to really stir up a lot of hype for the game, and the hype wouldn't stop there, because as months would go on, we would see more and more of this game a lot. From Nintendo Directs to Shadow Drops, OST snippet releases, gameplay video showcases, crazy E3 reveals, edgy character video and theme songs, more Shadow Drops, and I actually mean Shadow literally, Tokyo Game Show story trailers along with a Hooters collab, yes, this was a real thing, even the London Symphony Orchestra being involved with this game too. Sonic Forces truly was looking unstoppable with every announcement that it had. Back to back, everything that kept coming out was looking cooler and cooler, and was making everything look like and sound like this was the real Sonic the Hedgehog comeback. 2017 was truly about to be Sonic's biggest year since he first came out. Sonic Mania was already out and was being loved by many, so now it was time for modern Sonic's time in the spotlight. By the time November came around, the hype train for Sonic Forces was at an all-time high. Everything looked great. Our next modern Sonic game was getting so close to being here. Many YouTube videos and streams were going on, hosting the road to Sonic Forces, getting ready to welcome the true return of modern Sonic. So one little joke video from the Sonic social media about joining the Eggman Empire, November the 7th, would then arrive. And Sonic Forces would be available for everybody to play. And with that, when people boot up the game, what many people were saying was, well, wait, what? No, wait, no, it can't be. No, they didn't. No, but it was supposed to be epic, and it was said it was by the same people. The story.
So, what's your favorite color? You like long?
I beat it in less than 5 hours, and all the trailers, the things that they revealed, the promises, and they said would be in game. Was there even a game in 2016? So November the 7th, 2017 arrived. Sonic Forces released to the public, and that day was a day Sonic fans will never forget. Now you might think, well, after all of that, surely you can say this in a positive light, right? I mean, the hype cycle, the trailers, the promises, everything you guys wanted was here. You were so excited for this too. Surely this had to be a great day, right? I wish I could say yes, my friend. But unfortunately, I have to say the opposite, because it was on this day, many Sonic fans were hurt dearly. On first playthroughs, the game was pretty decent, but then you'd play through it again, and notice some stuff. Then you'd play again, and there, you would start to notice something. And that being, this game was one big lie, and we all fell for everything. Unlike previous Sonic games where the games are unfinished, a buggy mess, or have this in it, this game was a product of massive amounts of false advertising, lazy level design, cut corners, horrendous gameplay, horrible writing, missed potential with a lot of things here, and not to mention, a game that lasts no longer than 3 hours max. This game is very well known for the reputation it has made itself over the past number of years, and the fact at one point we all said this would be the return of Sonic is really sad in retrospect with what we know now. We all thought we were in for an amazing experience with this new Sonic title that would be the comeback from Sonic Lost World and Sonic Boom, when in reality, there was never a game like these two to begin with. In reality, there never was a comeback. The only thing there was a quick little budget title thrown together in the span of a year. And so with that, Sonic Forces would end up leaving an impact far greater than any other Sonic game ever would. No longer were we scared that Sonic Team would make a game full of glitches. It was now, can Sonic Team make a game that's not like this ever again? And so for years to come, Sonic fans would now be paranoid whenever a new game gets announced. The first thing that comes to mind is, will history end up repeating itself once again? Therefore, any excitement for a new said game is immediately thrown out the window. That way, the disappointment we all felt in 2017 can never, ever be felt ever again.
So as Supercon just said, this has been a reoccurring issue. Forces was a terrible disappointment to the fans that were there and leading up to the hype cycle. I'm sure it was disappointing, and I don't disagree with anything said. That all makes sense if you were in the shoes of a Sonic fan at that time. But that's not where we are anymore. We are not in that time. So I say it's time to start packing it up. This constant fear of what the new Sonic game is going to be. The constant, oh, I can't let myself get too excited. I can't let myself this. Now, obviously, getting yourself overly excited for something is just going to set yourself up for disappointment. Don't do that. But people don't allow themselves to have any sort of hype towards Sonic. There's just this constant fear in the back of so many Sonic fans' minds that is always just nagging, saying, what if it's a disappointment? I swear that's what it has to be, because we keep seeing it. Thankfully, with what we've seen with Crossworlds, the addition of Rider stuff has kind of appealed to some of the more jaded Sonic fans, for a lack of better terms. So thankfully, the response to Crossworlds has been overall positive, but it's still not free of some of the just stupid negativity. Just frame one. When the game was getting like some leaks before the trailer came out, people just assumed the worst. People assumed, oh no, look, there's Green Hill in the game. Oh boy, I can't wait for there to be like 0 new tracks and it to only be reused. And it kept getting compared to Team Sonic Racing just over and over and over again. And I thought since frame 1 that they know Team Sonic Racing was so poorly received. The game died instantaneously, and there was just no excitement around the game. It was an overall incredibly boring racing game. Not bad, it just had nothing interesting. It had nothing interesting to offer. And so, seeing Crossworlds, having a trailer, it's doing everything it can to be interesting, just as I thought it would. And it just sucks that we're not assuming that Sonic is gonna put out good content. I've thought since Frontiers, since the Final Horizon, since all the Frontiers updates released, my mindset on current Sonic has been everything is going to be good. It may not be incredible, it may not be perfect, I'm not expecting perfect, but I know that the Sonic IP isn't going to put out a trash game. I know that. Even Superstars, which I'm not the biggest fan of, I just thought it was pretty solid. I'm just not the biggest fan of, 2D Sonic in general. That's probably one of my biggest hot takes, but that's just me. Overall, it was still a pretty good game, despite some of its issues. So I know this whole video has been hammering in one point, but I need to say it one more time just to fully put a bow on it. Sonic has had over 7 years to prove himself, and he absolutely has. Sega is doing way better management on the series. The developers are actually, I don't want to say trying, they're just actually doing. Frontiers was a template, so I can understand criticism of that. It had many pretty large, glaring issues, despite the game being really fun in my eyes. And then you have Superstars, pretty solid game. And then you have Shadow Generations, incredible game, genuinely my favorite Sonic game, and I don't think that's unreasonable to say in the slightest. It just got everything right. It was just my perfect combination of a Sonic game. It was incredible. And now, when I'm making this video in 2025, the current Sonic project that's in the hype cycle is Sonic Racing Crossworlds, and it looks phenomenal too. So, while Sonic hasn't been perfect, I think we need to get rid of just this constant anxiousness, this constant worry, the constant fear of a Sonic game being subpar, the constant fear of a disappointment, because there's no reason to think that anymore. We are past that. And as the title and thumbnail state, it's time to move on. Sonic Forces should not be relevant to any current day Sonic discussion. It should have nothing to do with it, because we are fully past that. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say for this video. I really just wanted to get this point across because we're at the start of a new hype cycle, and I just don't want to see this issue of just constant assumed, just instantaneous negativity. I don't want to see this continually being an issue, so I just felt the urge to make this video about it. Huge thank you to Supercon for hopping on the video. He is amazing. He makes great content. You should totally check out his videos. Seriously, they are absolutely worth your time. And so, with all of that said, I hope all of you have an amazing rest of your day. God bless.